To understand YouTube's situation and how the algorithm works, and to just understand YouTube in general, is getting to the point where there is no proper way to legitimately grow unless you do like I call it out with those other YouTubers who outright cheat the system, um, astroturf ideas, and even just outright manipulation. Like it comes to algorithm bots that give you views, or so like how you see with those bodybuilding competitions where everyone knows they take steroids but nobody admits it. So I got a couple of tabs out just show you the situation of YouTube, and I never talked about this guy. And I mean, I said I may do a video on this, maybe on one of my posts, but to explain the situation with YouTube is it's to explain the current state of why YouTube has gotten so shit, just so garbage, to where you can't even find proper people to watch without dealing with some guaranteed astroturf or a person that openly view bots or who are in a Discord group with a bunch of others who view bot each other to circumvent them being caught by YouTube's detection system to get shadow banned. But this person talks about something that everyone knows that happens. Everyone knows. Now, this guy's name US Airsoft. This video was made in February 2025, so several months ago. And this guy's not no small creator. This guy has 472,000 subscribers, so he's a big YouTuber. Now, let's go with his videos. His videos have been getting way less views than his subscriber amount. Now, that doesn't make sense because when you subscribe to someone, it's always been a thing. If you subscribe to someone, you will most likely get them in your recommended page. But they don't understand that. You know, people who try to gaslight other YouTubers who say, well, no, they just fell off. No, falling off, it's like the only people I hear saying falling off of a social media post, it's always a YouTuber. It's never a TikToker. It's never an Instagram poster. It's never even a Snapchat poster, which Snapchat's not a thing anymore. I mean, it's around, but nobody don't uses it. They always blame the creator, knowing that every other social media poster who talks about the algorithms of other platforms will say it's the algorithm. It's the algorithm's fault that you have to cheat the algorithm, and they're open about even the people who created the social media, you know, like TikTok and Instagram and even Snapchat, even Twitter, what you call X. Twitter will admit, yes, they will be transparent about if your account has been flagged for being shadow banned. YouTube doesn't want to admit that. So, 400,000 subscribers. This, it's only getting like 17,000. This is from a year ago too. He does get some videos that may do decently, and this is not even decent for his standard. Like for the sub count, he should be doing better. Like if you go back a long time ago, you notice that more of his videos was getting more and more views. See, like 800,000. Even back then, it was kind of doing it, but you know, airsoft rifles have always done shit in the algorithm because of the way YouTube is. Look at this years ago. Look at this. Hundreds of thousands, almost 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 10,000. But you notice that he was getting more 100,000 views. So what happened? YouTube flagged him. YouTube, it's flagging like not just airsoft, but anyone they deem to be taboo or controversial. That's how YouTube works. People don't like to talk about that kind of stuff. People are afraid of it. Like, look at this. Look at this today. He may only got one video that did okay. And he had to do basically a scummy tactic that even he talks about in this video I'll be watching in just a minute. Where he has to be making controversial videos just to get in the algorithm. Even he says, I don't like doing that. It's funny because people talk about how social media has become more toxic, but the problem is YouTube promotes that. YouTube openly promotes toxic behavior, quote unquote. Now, I don't have a problem with toxic behavior. It's just when they complain about it, but yet they make an algorithm to where you have to be controversial. But that's a double-edged sword, because if you mess with the wrong community, YouTube will call you a bully and ban you. Let's see here. I talked about this guy before. I was going to make him an example, but it doesn't matter with this guy. This person I may watch at the end. Let's see here. Put this on 1.0 speed. Just so it can be faster.
Is shadow banning on YouTube actually real? How can content reviewers abuse their positions to completely ruin channels that they don't like? How do channels like Forgotten Weapons, Brandon Herrera, Donut Operator, Demolition Ranch, and others actually break YouTube's suppression system? If you're curious about any of those questions or another one of these,
people don't want to admit there's an algorithm suppression system. People on YouTube are the only groups of people where they will openly say there's no such thing, knowing that there has been so much documented proof of shadow banning. I mean, just look at recently, like last month, when people was just talking about restricted mode, not even showing the videos of channels. Even, you know, if you go on their channel, it won't even show up any video. And it won't even show the channel. To say that shadow banning, it's not a thing, it's being a fucking fool. You are gaslighting, you're being bad faith. No other content creator on other social media would say that. They would say, yes, the algorithm's suppressing you, you just got a shitty algorithm, and you could be just your account's just been deemed as bad. And even the people who make social media on other sites would tell you when your account is deemed too controversial. They're transparent. YouTube is opaque, where they won't tell you a thing. They refuse to, and they actively get worse. The only reason why people are on this site is to make money. Money. You take away that incentive, make it where people make the same amount as TikTok, every single content creator will move straight to TikTok because they can't deal with this shit anymore. It just gives them money. That's it. You take away that incentive, why would you use YouTube? It doesn't make sense.
then you're going to want to watch this, because I'm about to change how a lot of YouTubers conduct themselves with just this video. But first, some context. YouTube used to be a place where you could share just about anything. The slogan used to be, broadcast yourself. It's also an infinite money machine if you're willing to put the work in. It's a place where...
It's not really a money machine, but if you do understand how to make good videos, in what people think, what people like, it comes to people that like the videos you make. As you as an individual, people like you enough. YouTube will benefit you for giving you money. That's how it was.
Creators with great editing wizardry, storytelling skills, or a good concept of what's trending could really make a name for themselves. I too used to heavily benefit financially from this platform that YouTube has offered me on and off the platform. I used it to pull myself out of homelessness and to pay my own bills and several other family members' bills when I went full-time about 4 years ago. But when you start to notice your overall views slowing down and your once thriving subscriber count begin to crawl when it once...
Yes, I have seen this before. I have seen people outright say, I had channels I used to watch that I swear I subscribed to, and all of a sudden it goes away. where I can't find them in the algorithm. I can't even find them in my subscription tab. And then I found out my channel automatically deletes them. Did you even go live yesterday like you said you would? The hell YouTube didn't give me a notification? Gave me the notification? I had an idea you uploaded anything but shorts for a month. I'm just now catching up on YouTube. It isn't sending out notifications at all for you. Yes, I get that a lot too. I'll get notifications from people that are videos from months ago, and it says in my tab, in my notifications tabs on both my phone and on my PC, it just started recently. Like it's like, oh, 14 hours ago, 13 hours ago, 1 hour ago. And it's an old video. The notification tab is one of the most useless features of YouTube. It is useful. It is useless. It's a useless fucking tab. I can't use it if, say, when I post a video, I don't know if someone said something unless I go to the video I made and go by newest to see if they said anything. I don't know. YouTube is just so shit.
Gathered hundreds every day, and so many fans tell you that they thought that you quit making videos months ago, even though you've been pumping out more intricately edited projects lately. Well, you try new things, new topics, new editing styles. Maybe collab with new people or try a trend that's popular. Maybe you start a new series or take in ideas from other creators that you watch or talk to. Some might even put out what's considered brain rot or slop just so they can gauge what your audience and other audiences alike.
Yeah, I did that too. I sometimes do that. Now, my source on this site has been unshadow banned because the algorithm on shorts is actually quite easy to get views. Now, if they change that to what it's on normal YouTube, yes, I will get views because I've been trying to push out shorts. I have had a video that went up to 2,000 views, like this, the last time I put in a short. I put that video up, it got views. This doesn't. Like when I do normal content, it doesn't get anything. It doesn't even show up in the recommended. I could put the exact title. It won't even show up. I have alt accounts. I have VPN set up to where, just in case if it thinks I'm trying to search my term up and it would try to pretend I'm being shown up. They know, and they could easily fix this, but they refuse to.
Want to see. But after all that, you still see your views and your subscriber count dwindle even more. You go from, in my case, nearly $4,000 in ad revenue each month to not even $900. And your live streams get taken down even when following YouTube's strict guidelines to a T, and every video is hit with limited advertising immediately once it's uploaded, and your fellow YouTubers point out that they're noticing lower numbers, and they share your ideas about retiring from full-time content creation, all the while that you haven't seen any kind of outcry for any poor conduct on your part or lack of quality. When all of this is happening at the same time, you get a little suspicious. You lean into some conspiracies that other creators share around because they think they know how YouTube works in the background. You might even find yourself in an unhealthy echo chamber. And that's exactly where I did not want to find myself.
Well, you shouldn't. The problem is they think the unhealthy echo chamber is like, oh, you are just, it's your own fault. That's the problem. YouTubers will try to say it's your fault. The problem is it's not your fault. YouTube is literally based off of algorithms. It's not about how you do your videos. It's determined if you get recommended in the recommended feed. That's how people find their videos. Most of the people on YouTube use their phone, and your phone, pretty much you go by your recommended. I do that. Any video I watch, I go and recommend it. And say, well, why don't you do it by search? The search, like I said in many videos, do not show you in the tab. It refuses to show any video you search up in the tab. Be like, you go 1, 2, 3. Oh, a video that you are recommended, not actually you search. Scammers have took advantage of this kind of issue with the search in YouTube, and they love to do this. They love what's going on with YouTube.
I wanted to find as many well-educated answers from as close to the source as I possibly could get. I wanted to know if airsoft and real firearms are really being shadow banned or if that's a overused excuse. I wanted to know how videos really get reviewed by YouTube's manual reviewers. And ultimately, is YouTube really as politically biased as so many people believe it is? Does YouTube really hate guns?
Well, see, he focused more on the gun aspect, but this is more than just guns. This is about the entire website. The entire website has shadow banned most creators that they don't like. And it's an automated system. That's what people need to understand. It's automated. It's not something that manually do it. It's not someone that manually does it. It's so that they can control a narrative.
Over a year of studying the numbers, talking to just about every airsoft content creator from Random Guy Kev, C7, Jet the Desert Fox, WAG Entertainment, Demo, the Novrich Team, Airsoft Alphonse, Swamp Sniper, and outside the airsoft scene, creators like PSR, Blue Jean Operator, Turkey Tom, The Gamers from Mars, Justin Wang, Think Before You Sleep, Sanity Space, Achido, Windagoon, and many, many more from many different subsects of YouTube.
And you notice how all these big YouTubers never talked about this outside of them talking to him. Because they know if they talked about this on Matt's Windagoon, Turkey Tom, I'm just talking about non-airsoft YouTubers. Because I think it should be more than just about airsoft. Airsoft rifles and guns in general, I understand why they get so upset with this. I understand. But this is a slippery slope to use to justify to do more than just airsoft guns and regular firearms. They know what they're doing. And they realize they can control a narrative so easily. That's how it is on YouTube.
All done to compound ideas, perspectives, questions, conspiracy theories, and a whole lot more that hopefully could uncover some information that I could then use to build up my channel, or at least spread the information out to other content creators in my sphere. I did this for a year to uncover more details that I wouldn't be able to get myself without directly asking YouTube employees. And over that time, I've met 3 people while digging for answers. And for this video, they will remain anonymous. So I present to you, Mr. White.
Yeah, they're people. You know why they have to use anonymous names? Because they know they will be blacklisted from every social media company or blacklisted from companies in general. YouTube doesn't want to be transparent about this kind of shit. And this is actually going to kill a website if it doesn't get fixed. Because look at all the AI slop that's taken over YouTube. AI slop has dominated YouTube recently. Why? Because it's automated, and you know the automated shadow ban system can't determine if it's controversial or not because it knows it's AI, but it can't be proven it's AI 100% because they can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna false label you as AI," because everyone would be labeled as AI. The people who make these types of videos on comes to AI slop, they never put their video as it was made with AI because they know what will happen if they put their video as AI, marked as AI. Their channel will be destroyed. Many channels know when they're shadow banned, and they will immediately immediately abandon the channel to make another channel so they can try to see if they can get the snowball effect happen. You can find channels, abandoned channels, where they have 10, 20 videos. And if they don't get past like the 100 view mark, they abandon it. Because they're trying to get that snowball ready.
A person who is commonly in talks with several senior employees of YouTube and who has taken on several jobs for YouTube. Then there's Mr. Red, one of the absolute largest content creators in their community with well over 5 million subscribers, who has been invited to VidCon to host booths as a preferred content creator. a program where certain creators have their content pushed a little bit more as their channels have been vetted and approved by YouTube.
Which, in my opinion, should be illegal. In my opinion. Like, it should have regulations against that. You should not be pushed more, even if, well, you're a big time creator. That's called favoritism. That means you are actively manipulating the system. Why should they be pushed more than others? That's the problem. Why should they be pushed more? They're doing good anyway, so you don't need to be pushed more.
As safe for anyone. You might see this creator a lot of times on the landing page of YouTube, in recommendations, as the first result when you type in anything like beauty, gaming, sports, or anything of the like. And then there was Mr. Black, my most surprising resource, an internet safety evaluator with a company called TELUS Digital, a partner of Google. This person's job is to rate the videos that go out for manual review, or are flagged by viewers, or videos that are kicked back after several years of being on YouTube due to some terms of service or policy change.
Most of those TELUS media people are from the Philippines or from other third world countries. They do that because then they have to pay their the people they hire cheaper. They be hired for like $2 an hour, $3 an hour. That's the reason why. And these people don't understand like what's culturally taboo for them. They get told by their boss, this is culturally taboo within Western internet, and they do it by default, or they have the algorithm bots do it for them.
Whenever a video is hit with limited ads or is age restricted due to whatever new policy, this person can receive them, watch them, and determine if the restriction stays, is removed, or how it should be promoted or restricted further. And for this video, I really have to watch what I say.
I know, you have to watch what you say. Something that is a big fucking deal. By the way, this video has always stayed around 17,000 or 16,000 views. This video barely got any views. This video did more poor than most of his videos. And this is a big fucking deal. This dude did research and actually talked to big YouTubers because he's a big YouTuber himself. He understands the algorithm. He knows what he's talking about. And even he's struggling. This should be a massive fucking deal. This is something that, because YouTube is based in the United States, they should, and this is what I mean, you know, Republicans win a W for this. Maybe they need to make it where companies must tell you, they must be transparent about how they run their system, their operating system, and tell you when your channel or content is suppressed. That means it can't be opaque like YouTube. This is just outright censorship at this point. It's censorship.
Have to watch how I describe these contexts for the obvious reasons of affecting their jobs and privileges with YouTube, some much more than others, as Mr. Black could face legal action if I'm not careful with how I describe them. Something that a lot of people have pointed out should be a major reason as to why I should not be making a video like this. I know this is a really long setup for this video, but here is the entire list of questions that I asked Mr. Red and Mr. White. Followed up by the list of questions I asked Mr. Black, the content reviewer. Not every question will be explained in full, as we would be here for literal hours. But if you would like to skip around, then I've made this video as easy as I possibly can to maneuver. The last answers you'll be able to read through at the very end of the video if you would like to. I'm also going to leave a document in the description with all the questions, all the answers, all the proof that I was shown, just so you guys can read through it if you want the most amount of knowledge that you could get from something like this.
Look at how much shit he's trying to ask him. And I guarantee he couldn't answer all of them because, as he said, it would take hours. But this is important. This is beyond important. This is something where if YouTube, because this is getting worse. This is from 8 months ago, and it's just gotten worse. when more and more AI slop keeps taking over the internet, when actual like pornographic videos are just spammed on this website, I use adblock on YouTube. I don't use adblock on TikTok. Why? Because their ads are better. Their ads are actually more safe than YouTube's. YouTube openly has scam ads that can make you get your phone or computer infected with a malware, viruses. TikTok doesn't have that problem because the people who make ads for TikTok, they have to act the same way as a normal TikToker. They can't go against community guidelines, but for some reason, the advertisers can post literal porn. Literal porn, just like open porn. So I have to use adblock because I don't want to be using something that will show porn on my fucking homepage.
Some of the screenshots will have to have some redactions to protect my sources' identities, so keep that in mind. And for all the YouTubers or Twitch streamers or whoever wants to make a reaction video to this, hello! We start this interview with a few questions pointed towards Mr. Red and Mr. White, our YouTube employee and our preferred content creator. First up, does YouTube know the difference between airsoft content and firearm content when it comes to community guidelines or monetization availability? Mr. White answered with, YouTube themselves know the difference. The computer has a general idea, but is not of the full understanding, and anything that's dangerous, they could think is real. To be as fair as possible, we're all dealing with AI whenever we upload a video. That's what determines a lot of the monetization problems that we have. And if you don't have full monetization, your video is going to be hindered with the growth that it should be receiving. I mean, if YouTube's not going to make money off of your content, then what's the incentive for it to share it around?
Yeah, so that's why some people, especially newer YouTube channels, sometimes buy channels that have subscribers where it's 500 to 1,000 because and also have enough watch hours. Because if you are making money, they will want to slightly incentivize you to get more views because then they make more money. Now, if you're too controversial, they don't care at that point. They want to get rid of you. Now, they can't straight outright ban you because they know if they ban enough people, then people are going to start to be suspicious. And they already have enough controversies, just them as Google themselves.
We also deal with human reviewers that might not always know the difference between airsoft and real firearms content, or have no idea how to always judge if airsoft content is really dangerous or not. So it's best to stay safe than sorry. The AI that triggers limited ads or terms of service violations isn't looking for the orange tip at the end of the barrel or the sound of a gearbox. And if anyone can use the words airsoft and firearm interchangeably to try to get around triggering the system, then it has to go after all of the creators featuring realistic guns, that being real or fake. Question 2. Do you think channels that intentionally refer to their real firearms as airsoft in videos to circumvent guidelines violations can have a negative effect on actual airsoft content treatment? Mr. White said, to answer that question here, absolutely. It's definitely unintentional, and YouTube wouldn't purposely try and harm the airsoft community because of it. But once people start doing things like that, then they have to start cracking down on airsoft because of the fact that they can't properly train their AI to ensure that it's a real gun versus an airsoft gun. It has to be a broad language. I've always had a nagging fear about this. Whenever channels have said that their real firearms are airsoft replicas, I've always thought that that could one day backfire on the airsoft community. So many channels that I've watched have done something like this, holding a real AR-15 but saying, hey YouTube, this is an airsoft gun, to skirt around any possible monetization or visibility / discoverability issues. I have no intention to snitch out any of the content creators that I've watched.
I personally don't care if people do that. The thing is, people should not be censored just because they show a fucking weapon. There's video games that show gore. Why the fuck should people care about a gun? Who the fuck cares? But YouTube does. I can go on YouTube right now and search up like baby monkey videos and it's just nothing but people beating the shit out of them. Which is still a problem on YouTube. I can watch a video of people just openly torturing them. With monetization, you can get a Coca-Cola ad.
Maybe that you've watched who have done this before. But I can think of several well-respected multi-million subscriber channels that have done this. Channels that if you tried to attack, you'd be shunned by pretty much everyone. I'm not surprised that YouTube wouldn't be too happy with anyone trying to trick their content reviewers or the algorithm by referring to real firearms as airsoft replicas. And it's not surprising that YouTube's AI would have to be altered after a while to crack down on this workaround. If something you're doing is at risk of dropping even a little bit of YouTube's ad revenue because you figured out some cool new trick, they're going to do a lot more than just ask you to stop referring to your real firearms as airsoft replicas. Question 3. Would YouTube suppress airsoft content as a whole, or is it a creator-to-creator, case-to-case basis? Mr. White said, I'm not 100% familiar with how YouTube chooses things like this. To the best of my knowledge, they don't intentionally suppress anyone unless they are doing dangerous activities. There are many large airsoft channels that do it safely and don't show off overshooting and such. I can agree with that to an extent. I personally don't believe that the top of the leadership of YouTube want to intentionally snub airsoft from their platform. It doesn't get hit piece articles made against them. No one is taking them to court for having airsoft content on their platform, and it can generate some good money for them, which is ultimately what any company wants. Or you can say that this is my way of playing devil's advocate. I like doing that a lot whenever it comes to big situations like this. I do find it interesting though how Mr. White mentions overshooting videos and such. Rage bait will always be a problem in any community, and I can see that becoming a problem in our community since, love it or hate it, rage bait like overshooting, intentionally hurting people, fight videos, cheating for the sake of capturing arguments on camera, and other stuff like that gets the most views in airsoft. You can't lie. It just does. And anyone can make that kind of content. It requires very, very little skill. People literally re-upload other people's rage bait and flip out compilations over and over just for a little boost of ad revenue.
Yeah. Now, you would think that YouTube would not like that because it's causing controversy, which is actually the biggest reason why, YouTube has all these issues. But instead of helping people who actually make quality content or honest content, just people acting themselves, no, they promote rage bait. They promote controversial shit because it gets them views. It encourages bad behavior. Encourages view bots. It encourages fucked up people.
I've seen it. A lot of airsofters have seen it. The real firearms guys love laughing at it. It happens a lot. So much so that even Moist Critical made a reaction video to one of those flip out compilations. So even if Charlie is reacting to that kind of stuff instead of any of the positive videos the actual airsoft community praises, then I'd feel safe saying that the negativity is what the majority of people outside the airsoft community sees from us. Question 4. What tactics or ways does YouTube use to suppress videos or entire channels? Answer: things like shadow banning or demonetization are ways.
So they openly say shadow banning. So whenever you hear any motherfucker says shadow banning is not a real thing, you just fell off, remember this. That's not true. There is shadow banning. They will, instead of just outright ban you, just make it where you won't get views. That's how they deal with you. They don't want to outright ban you because they found out that if they just shadow ban people, well, it makes you look crazy. It makes you look like a nut if you talk about it, that my content's not getting views. No, you just fell off. YouTube employees encourage this gaslighting. They love this. Why do you think all the people, well, I mean, most of the people who, let me show you. That's the person I watched that. But they encourage, like this person. This person would tell you it's your fault. It's disgusting, in my opinion.
Well, there you go. Not much to say there. I know a lot of people do not buy into the idea that shadow banning is a real thing, but what are you going to say to that? And that's not going to be the first time you hear shadow banning mentioned in this list of answers.
Yeah, they won't mention it. They won't mention it, but he talked to an actual YouTube employee that say shadow banning is a thing. Now, of course, they're not going to say who they are because that would get them to be outright destroyed from getting any employment whatsoever. And by the way YouTube acts, probably be dangerous for them. Because this can ruin a company if they outright admit it. Now, they can admit it softly. If they openly say, yeah, we do it, maybe they can fix some of the issues and maybe stop the way they do YouTube. And he thinks it's just airsoft, which he knows it's not. Anyone that's not Mr. Beast or some other slop channel, they're fine. It comes to if you're a slop channel, AI slop or Mr. Beast, you're fine in YouTube's eye. But if you're anything else, talk about politics, talk about your own opinions. Nope, that's a bad thing. Shadow ban.
I was even told by 2 creators who were given the chance to speak to a group of other YouTube representatives during a meeting at last year's VidCon that they don't like to call it a shadow ban. Instead, it's called the Suppressed Creator Program. Sounds like a fun program.
Yeah, suppressed creator program. It's a way to not say shadow banning. That's a real thing, by the way. That's what they call it, suppressed creator program. Now it's automated too. That's my belief. I know he probably wouldn't believe me, but I do believe they made an automated version because they're trying to do AI and trying to make everything automated. Now, why? Because they want to save money. They don't want to pay some third world person who lives in like the Philippines or Thailand or some other poor country. They don't want to pay them that. They want to have a bot. This shit is infuriating. This should get YouTube to be sued.
Question 5. Many airsoft creators avoid using the word gun, rifle, or other similar words to avoid any possible monetization or suppression issues. How does YouTube feel about those terms, and should creators avoid using them? Mr. White said, yes, unless it's absolutely crucial. Using terms like guns can easily confuse the AI that searches through everything that's up, and makes it think that it's about real guns and gun violence. I've always recommended to new creators in the airsoft scene and even older creators to refrain from using the words like gun, rifle, bullet, and other words like those. Instead, I've been using the terms replica and piece just to get around the AI that's used by Google and YouTube.
See, that's disgusting. That's fucking disgusting. You have to use different words just to get past YouTube's AI. How fucking disgusting is that? Back a decade ago, this wasn't a thing. This wasn't a thing. Controversial shit like this wasn't a thing. You would make a video. You will have to make a creative thumbnail. You have to make a creative title. You put in tags for extra words inside, and it will grow naturally. And if your video was shit, I guarantee the 7 people who disliked this are YouTube employees. Or the subreddit on YouTube, YouTube growth. This is just fucked up.
I've been doing it for years. And if you're going to tell me that there is no AI that's checking all the words that you're saying in your videos, then let me show you a cool trick. Quickly, get out of the full screen mode of this video if you are right now. Hey, be sure to subscribe to the US Airsoft channel right now. Did you notice that the subscribe button down?
Let me show you. Watch this. I'm gonna unsubscribe. And watch.
Hey, be sure to subscribe to the US Airsoft
Maybe not anymore. It used to.
channel right now.
It does it like on your phone app.
Did you notice that the subscribe button down below just lit up? Question 6. Why wouldn't YouTube want airsoft content on the platform? Mr. White said, personally, I don't think they don't necessarily want airsoft content on the platform.
They don't want guns at all. You gotta remember, like I said before in like other videos, these people who are the ones running YouTube, they're far left tankies, open communist. That's why there's pro-Russia content also. In reality, most of these people who like, what's his name, Tim Pool, should be banned from YouTube because he's an open, being paid shill Russian asset, and also should be charged for treason for being an open Russian asset. You know, there was a group of people who got, you know, pew-pewed because they were treasonous to the government, to America, when they gave information to the Soviets. Tells you what happened, what should happen to Tim.
It's more when airsofters mag dump or just do dangerous things that they prefer not to see on their platform. Again, this is understandable. I wouldn't expect YouTube to be all too happy about actual dangerous behavior being displayed on their platform. but sadly that reflects on us in the worst ways sometimes. Mr. Red, the preferred content creator, was much more positive in his response. I don't think YouTube doesn't want airsoft content on the platform. I've recommended a lot of it, and I have even seen its own tab at the top of my watch page, where I can select the type of content I want to watch. I don't think that would exist if YouTube didn't want it to be on the platform. I think YouTube wants whatever people want to watch. Simply put, you're not recommended airsoft content or any other content like you used to because you don't watch any of it anymore. But
that is bullshit, and we all know that. Complete bullshit. It's not that nobody wants to watch it, it's that YouTube doesn't recommend it. I don't stop watching stuff because I don't feel like it. It's because it goes out of my tab and I'm thinking it's just not making videos. These fucking liars. These fucking gaslighting pieces of shit.
doesn't mean that it's not there, and you'll get pushed more of it if you actually watch it. And if YouTube really didn't want it on the platform, then it wouldn't get its own section in your suggestions. Question 7. Where some creators have a hard time getting views on normal long-form content, others find it very easy to get views and monetization on nearly any shorts video, leading to an explosion in new subscribers and discoverability. Why does it seem like there are different rule sets for these two types of content?
Because of different algorithms.
Mr. White said, both are different algorithms entirely, so it's not uncommon for a creator to struggle with long-form content but explode on shorts. It's hard to bridge the gap between people who want to watch 15-minute videos and people who want to doom scroll. This fits exactly what I've had in mind, as over the past few years, I've really noticed this, and some of you guys have as well. I've seen several airsoft and firearms channels explode with shorts, their subscriber counts flying past the hundreds of thousands, and their shorts getting millions of views. But then when they make normal videos, they can't pull in 20,000 views or even 10,000, or sometimes even 2,000 views, despite having 300,000 or 700,000 subscribers I've seen.
Because the algorithm, because what people don't understand, also your sub count don't matter no more. Your sub count really doesn't matter. I watch channels that I like to watch where I never subscribe to them because it's always recommended to me. And so why don't you subscribe to them? Because it doesn't really matter. Subscribers don't matter like they used to. It just matters about views. Now they should make it where your subscribers does matter again, to where that would be what you get pushed out the most, what you subscribe to encourage people to watch what they want to watch instead of what YouTube thinks you want to watch. But you know how Google is.
My concern is with how I never hear of shorts videos having issues with monetization, while long-form content about airsoft and firearms does. I have literally re-uploaded segments of long-form videos that I've made as shorts, and the shorts videos always get approved for full monetization every time. I have spoken to several creators who were on the rise a few months ago or even a year ago in the airsoft community who confirmed with me that they even thought it was ridiculous what they could get away with as long as it was uploaded as a shorts video. My only theory that I was able to gather with a few other creators that I spoke with at VidCon was that it was to compete with TikTok. As long as it's a shorts video, it's always approved so that it can help make YouTube a better source for short form content. But this is not something I confirm at all after talking with all of my sources. This is just some kind of theory that I and a few other creators have come up with. Question 8. Would you say things will get better for airsoft and firearms content, or do you see things getting worse in the near future? Mr. White said, I think as long as people do things properly and continuously educate as well as just show the fun.
Educate doesn't make sense. Educate is fucking stupid. There's no education with this. It's just more of a reason to be pushed down in the algorithm. That's what it basically means. You have to dumb yourself down, don't say a word, and you can't even show the gun at this point. I'm not an airsoft person. I don't care for that shit. But it's not just affecting you. It's affecting everyone. It's censorship, plain and simple.
Side of things, not the jerk people side, drama sells, we all know that, it could get better. I'm sure that being told that if we policed our actions a little bit more on YouTube, then we would be better off, probably comes off as a little annoying by this point. Question 9. Are the guidelines and monetization judgments enforced more liberally, depending on how big a channel is or how many views their content brings in? Mr. White answered, no, YouTube doesn't particularly care unless you're like Mr. Beast level if you're breaking their guidelines. They're going to grant judgment regardless, especially when it comes to firearms, because of how things are in the world today with guns. That's a risk they can't take. I admit this answer is definitely not going to be accepted as truth by a lot of people. No matter what platform it is, there will always be doubts if the biggest breadwinners are still on the same level as everyone else.
Oh no, that's not true. Once you get so big in the YouTube sphere, you can get away with a lot. I think what people know, it's like, especially with Twitch, you see all these massive Twitch streamers where they do shit that even like sites out loud like pornographic shit wouldn't get away with. But because they're so big, they can't get rid of them because, you know, Twitch is pretty much only for big channels. You can't grow. There's no discoverability on Twitch. Kind of getting that way with YouTube at this point. TikTok is like the last one, but even then it's starting to get bad because now if it gets bought out by Trump, you know, it's going to be bad.
When it comes to the rules, especially with situations like with Hassan Piker, as it's been shown very clearly that he's allowed to break Twitch's terms of service repeatedly with immunity. What I will say is that this answer does track in my experience when it comes to YouTube. YouTube cares a lot more about their outward reputation than a lot of other platforms do, in my opinion. But I also know, because of my years-long investigation to make this video, that it's not always the big wigs at YouTube that pass down what could be career-ending judgment. But we'll get back to that whenever we get to Mr. Black's questions, our YouTube Internet Safety Evaluator. Question 10. What is the biggest competitor to YouTube, and what do you think they do that YouTube should also do?
Okay. The closest one is TikTok. Because TikTok, if they just do a few things that YouTube does, and maybe pay more for, like, they're trying to bring up portrait mode, which is basically just like YouTube, and they're trying to do like YouTube where it has portrait mode of, you know, normal form content, long form content. And if they do that and say give them the monetization of YouTube, they could easily outbeat YouTube easily. They could easily do that. Same thing with Instagram, because if you mix Instagram and TikTok together, they just outcompete YouTube. Like YouTube, it's been slowly going down in viewership because people are getting tired of it. People are tired of it. I see younger generations, they don't even talk about YouTube. The only reason why they talk about YouTube is to make money. That's it. Take away that motivation. It's like, why you should make videos on YouTube? You don't get views.
Mr. White said, YouTube doesn't really have a competitor, if we're being honest. They are the largest video platform in the world, hosted by the largest search engine in the world. Rumble is around. They're useless. There is not a lot of good video hosting.
Man, that probably hurt like the owners of Rumble's feelings because, yeah, I actually agree. Rumble is useless. If you ever been on Rumble, it's shit. It is garbage. Like, I made an account, and for some reason the owned website lost my other account. So I was like, fuck this shit.
Sites that do things as well as YouTube. As far as what YouTube can do, I think there's a lot that they could do, but it's hard to implement a ton of things. And as I said, they have no reason to go crazy since their biggest competitor is like 1/100th of the size of them. And that is being generous, I think. Then Mr. Red said, I honestly don't think that YouTube has a competitor in the sense that it's the big guy that another smaller competitor is trying to take out. I think YouTube is trying to position themselves as the competitor to big streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, etc. Rumble is often brought up as the ace in the hole to combat YouTube's ever-changing policies against the firearms and the airsoft scene. But I've seen how both communities fight over how either so few people use Rumble or that they can't be bothered to go to another website just to go watch some specific creators that they used to watch on YouTube. It doesn't hurt to post onto Rumble or Pepperbox or Twitter, and honestly a lot of us—
It's shit. All these websites are shit. I'm glad he said Twitter. Don't call it X. It's a dumbass name.
Including myself, hurt themselves by not doing so. But if you ever thought that YouTube takes any of its competitors seriously, you'd be mistaken. And if YouTube really is outcompeting TikTok now, then their confidence is way beyond anyone's comprehension.
I've been hearing multiple articles saying that YouTube has been going downhill recently. People like say, oh, Rumble and all that. It's like, most people use TikTok. Like, if you compare real people compared to YouTube and TikTok, TikTok has more real people.
A great test to see if Rumble picks up more with the general public would be to see how Dr. Disrespect does in the coming months. If Dr. Disrespect somehow flops on Rumble, even with his ravenous fanbase that don't care at all about the evidence against him or any of the claims, that will be really telling. I can see that being used against Rumble by a lot of people for sure.
Rumble sucks. Rumble's not good. You commented like, move to Rumble. No. Why don't we just make YouTube work? Why don't we just push back against YouTube? How about that? YouTube's awesome. YouTube's way better than Rumble. Just because there's like 5 idiots who make the rules for YouTube doesn't mean the rules can't be changed eventually, right? You know, we just have to be persistent and rational and reasonable and not run away to Rumble. Rumble sucks. Come on.
In our last chapter, the questions and answers might have been enlightening to some people, or at least reassured some of the theories that were out there already. However, we're taking a look at Mr. Black's questions and answers, and this is the heavy stuff. Mr. Black is an internet safety evaluator from a company called TELUS Digital, a partner of Google. This person's job is to review videos that have been flagged, reported, videos that need to be manually reviewed to determine monetization status, and applying or lifting restrictions as he sees is fit by the terms of service. And if you're a creator that's ever had to send a video to be manually reviewed because it was hit for limited monetization, then Mr. Black is the guy who's reviewing your videos, along with his coworkers. I did my absolute best to ask as many of the big, hard-hitting questions that someone like this could answer. I even asked a whole bunch of other content creators so I could get some of their questions into this, so hopefully there's stuff in here that you really want to know. And we will be starting with question 1. If shadow banning is truly real, how does it affect a channel? Are there different levels or effects that you can trigger? As part of my job...
Oh yeah, there is. There is. People don't want to admit that. There's levels to it. And most people, I say, are at low degree at the start. You have to build up trust with YouTube.
Determining the severity of a violation is actually part of my job, and the severity of the punishment scales with how severely we determine the video violates guidelines. The amount of severity, or also what the video is being reviewed for, determines whether or not you get shadow banned, demonetized, or a straight up guidelines strike. Question 2. Can you tell me some of the airsoft and firearm creators that you've reviewed content for that you can remember? Mr. Black said, I've gotten some larger creators, but a lot of the small ones. I've gotten channels like Brandon Herrera, Desert Fox Airsoft, Zazpeak, who I started watching because one of his videos ended up on my desk, Administrative Results, Virage Airsoft, Misha's Guns, Green Beans Airsoft, C7 Viper, Vanderism TV, and Doom Ducky. I can't remember any more, but I also review so many videos while I'm working, and I don't really have time to even watch them. And just like that, I've got a lot of attention from a lot of different airsoft and firearms channels. Question number 3. I'm under the assumption that there is an AI that can detect gun shapes, which determines if a video is hit with limited ads before manual review. Do you know anything about this? Answer. The company that I'm working for is trying to make AIs that help filter through videos faster. I don't know specifically if they made that, but I know that YouTube is definitely paying other companies to make AI that do that. I've tested what triggers YouTube's monetization systems for years. I've uploaded a lot of test videos and other videos that were made specifically to see if certain theories of mine were true. I've uploaded videos of just blank walls with only the AC making noise in the background, or replacing the background noise with actual gunshots and other firearm noises, and a test where I sat in a chair and just talked about my day. I've determined that actual firearm noises don't trigger the AIs that are used by YouTube, but holding up an M4 replica absolutely did trigger something. Where all my tests were approved of for full monetization without issue, anything with a firearm or a replica of a firearm in frame would be hit immediately, regardless of the topic of the video. Question 4.
Except videos of gore videos that have mild filters or people torturing baby monkeys. That's fine. That's fine. You know, we need Coca-Cola sponsoring it.
If a reviewer were to be appointed to a video from a creator they do not like or approve of, what could they do to negatively affect them? They could totally abuse it, because you can rate a video inappropriate without stating any reason why. This ties to the screenshot shown in the above question, because inappropriateness can absolutely be rated regardless of what the video actually curtails. You can simply mark a video as highly inappropriate, and they honestly don't do any reviews on the answers we give. If you ever see a creator get a strike with absolutely no reason why or no explanation, it's because someone here that just doesn't like them and decides that their video is a high degree violation. I could think of a few creators that would be fuming if they heard this as an answer.
Yeah, that should be... many big YouTubers should do a class action lawsuit against Google or TELUS Media. This is something that's basically discrimination. MatPat's right where creators need rights because this is the only way you can do free speech. Like, you can't, go out in the town square, quote unquote, and try to speak out your mind because everyone's on their phone. People won't listen to a crazy person speak out.
Knowing that there's no punishment for abusing your power as a content reviewer is absurd. To think that you can cause so many problems for big teams of people that depend on their channels for paychecks just for someone who wants to mess with them can hit your growth with a shadow ban or even a channel strike.
Yeah. Basically, he knows. He probably told more that even he can't talk about, but yes, there is shadow banning. If you're controversial, you get shadow banned. And that includes small people. That's a fact. No matter how much these fuckers try to lie about it.
That's unacceptable. Question 5. Can you explain what causes videos that have already been approved by a reviewer to be hit with limited monetization again later on? Videos that are months or even years old sometimes get sent to me for review. I've literally gotten 2-year-old Russian badger videos because someone just decides to flag them. If someone decides that your video has aggression or is inappropriate in terms of airsoft, then yeah, your video that may have been considered fine is suddenly no longer fine. Also, funny thing about how limited monetization actually works, YouTube doesn't actually remove ads from your video. They just fucking take all the ad money for themselves. I don't think people talk enough about that part.
Yeah, if your video can't get ad revenue, it should not have ads, in my opinion. Because it's inappropriate. That should be a class action right there. Because they're just taking your money. They're taking your money. So it could be a borderline on something that should have a strike, but it just gets limited adding. It could be some mild gore, some controversial shit that, if I don't know, Coca-Cola seeing it, it's like shit ton of those types of video, they would probably pour their advertisement. But YouTube allows that. And they just take away your money. They blame you. Instead of just saying, you know what, we're not going to put ads here. We're not going to make money either. No, these just make it where you don't make money. They steal your money.
I remember a couple years back when the Act Man had his entire channel demonetized due to a joke that he made on Twitter that someone wanted to take seriously. Even though it was demonetized supposedly, I still saw ads being played on his channel because his channel still pulls in views that YouTube could make a lot of money from. And if they don't need to cut him a piece at all, that's pure profit. As for the first part of Mr. Black's answer, I don't think anyone is really surprised that videos that might have been accepted for monetization get hit back and forth periodically. My most viewed video ever is constantly hit for limited ads and then fully monetized, but as of about 3 months ago, it has been hit with limited ads and is no longer allowed to be appealed, which killed its upward trend. That video hardly gets any traction anymore, and I rarely see comments get posted about it now.
Yeah, that when you don't get ads on a video, it affects the growth too. And it won't even be recommended anymore. You may not even be able to search it up on YouTube. This is fucked up. This is something that YouTube should be sued for.
Limited monetization equals death for most videos. But if your video somehow still brings in tons of views, somehow, don't expect to see the rates you should be getting. I may be getting 37,000 on this video the past year, but that is only going to get me about $40. That's about $1 for every 1,000 views on an 18-minute long video. Question number 6. A few times when a video of mine is confirmed to not be suitable for most advertisers, I'm given a timestamp that doesn't appear to have any suspicious behavior or content. Do some reviewers just list any timestamp to rush the process along, no matter if it makes any sense? Absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you. Most of my coworkers barely even look at the videos that we're reviewing.
These people probably make $2. If they worked in the States, they'd be making $20 or $30 an hour. And that's in like a southern state too. If it was in like a northern state or like a major city, they'd be making $60 an hour. And the only thing to do is just skim through videos. Someone that American can easily do. And they can do it fairly and more efficiently, but also review the content properly. This is fucking bullshit. This is fucking infuriating.
I've talked to them, and when this comes up, a lot of them just like to just rush through the whole process. It doesn't help that we're given a timer on how fast we have to complete each video, and sometimes we have 5 minutes to review a multi-hour long video.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Here's a screenshot of said.
Look at this. Look at this. These people should be investigated. Like, if, you know, if MatPat ever runs for office, he should do a complete rehaul in the way the internet runs in the States. The internet should have it where there is no hate speech. Hate speech is fucking dumb. There never should be a hate speech violation. Unless you make specific threats or try to post someone's information without their consent, you should not be affected. This is killing the internet. This is. People talk about the bots, but bots are still run by people. There have been bots even before the AI boom. That's what people don't understand. These bots are just more sophisticated. These AIs are just more sophisticated bots. They are run by Indians in India. Most of these are run by Indians. Anytime you look up shadow ban or anything with YouTube growth or anything, you know what it is? Indians. Pajeets.
Timer. The white bar is how long we're given, and as you can see, I've gone over it. As you can see here, I got this 30-minute long video, and I'm being asked to review it within 1 to 2 minutes. Also, funnily enough, we don't need to watch the whole video to move on to the rating part. We only need to watch part of the video.
You know, there are people out there who would love to do something like this. You can say, well, that sounds kind of bad, you know, just be reviewing videos all day. But many of these people, if they're in the States, they make a lot of, they will make a shit ton of views. I mean, not a shit ton of views, but a shit ton of money possibly, because if it's in the States, they would have to pay you that much. It'd be a white-collar job. And you can work from home.
And funnily enough, this is only for certain videos. As you can see with this one, confirming that we actually watched a video is less important than us researching the reputation of the uploader, which sometimes has a factor in your video's rating or guidelines violations. This right here might be the most important part of this interview so far. For a very long time, a lot of creators, including myself, wanted to see timestamps given to explain the reasons why our videos get hit with limited monetization, and we got that a couple months ago. But to see that they're not being used the right way basically makes them useless. And to find out that content reviewers get 1 to 5 minutes at best to review a video, no matter how long it is, that's a big deal. Again, I've heard of a lot of big name YouTubers who have complained for years that some of their videos come back after being sent to review within minutes, despite them being half an hour or more long.
And the funny thing is, so Gamer from Mars, the Gamer from Mars should be more active against this. I feel like he's not doing shit. I feel like he doesn't give a shit. And he should give a shit because this affects everyone, including him. Because if everything's run by bots, then everything's going to get more shit. This is bullshit.
So imagine, if you would, this combo. I'm a YouTube content reviewer. I get a video to review from a channel I don't like. I don't even watch it. I list a timestamp like this, which is blatantly showing that I didn't watch any of the video, and I hit your channel with a shadow ban or a strike before moving along with my day. I don't need to explain myself to anyone. It's the ultimate go f yourself play.
How do you review a video within 1 minute? Within 30 seconds of that, within 30 seconds of an appeal being made at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, do you find someone that will sit down and watch an entire 12-minute, 19-second video in 15 seconds flat and come to the idea that I am scamming people within the first 30 seconds of the video, even if all you watched was 15 seconds of the video?
It's funny because it's rarely going after people who go after scammers. And it's probably because of a racial thing, because most people don't realize like 95% of all scammers that do like phone scams or internet scams, they come from India. Because India has a culture where it has no taboos against scamming people. They don't really have a thing where if you scam somebody, that's like a bad thing in their culture. Those people support scamming. They see it as, well, you're not scamming your people, you're scamming the non-Indian. So who cares? Other cultures, it's partially why the Middle East hates India. Like Pakistan, they hate India. They really hate India because their culture is so against what they believe. You know, being dirty and nasty, believing all sorts of weird shit where, you know, there's no order. Where in the Pakistani idea, You gotta be clean, you gotta be honest, don't steal. But you know how Indians are, they don't want to wash their hands. I don't care what YouTube thinks when I say that. It's just a fucking fact. They're dirty ass people.
Video. I have specifically stated it's a scam, okay? How does it get rejected within 1 minute? So you know what I'm going to do now? I am never, ever going to call out a scam. Ever.
Question number 7. Many airsoft channels have no idea how to rate their videos as none of the options properly fit most airsoft content. Which option would you suggest for the majority of airsoft content? Answer. I'm going to be honest. There is no good answer. Sometimes I'm asked to determine what the category of video is, and there's no good answer for airsoft. You can maybe try to say sports for the protection, but you're risking f***ing up your entire algorithm by doing that. There isn't really a good answer to this. As you can see, here are the categories for when it comes to reviewing, and none of these are a good fit for airsoft. I asked this question because I am sick and tired of guessing which option I'm supposed to select to determine what my video constitute as when it comes to YouTube. None of these options really fit, and the closest of the options would be outright lies to describe what we do. But I've also been told to never select this option, so what the hell are we supposed to do? My only suggestion to fix this would be to add a few more options that would be more properly suited for airsoft content like gameplay filmed at legal fields and arenas. Question.
It's funny how Mr. Black and White, it's funny, it's like the black and white, just being honest, and Mr. Red is basically just an ass kisser, you know, he sticks his tongue around the asshole ring to lick YouTube's asshole. They're cussing and saying, I don't have any fucking idea, I don't understand this fucking... They're kind of fed up, but they know they can't do anything about it, because if they say anything publicly, they'll be blacklisted from every social media company ever, and won't be able to get a job and be homeless. It's fucking ridiculous.
Number 8. Would you say things will get better for airsoft and firearms content, or do you see things getting worse in the near future? Answer. 90% of my coworkers are liberal leftists, and whatever you may think of that, those people are known to be anti-gun.
And you gotta remember, liberal leftists, and I told people within the moderate left, and even like Dylan Burns and other YouTubers, I said to them, tankies are ruining everything. The liberal leftists are talking about, they're the fucking tankies. This is why there's so much actual Russian propagandists who are monetized. There's Scott Ritter, an open pedophile, on this website. That's a fun fact. Scott Ritter, he's still on YouTube. He had to use alt accounts, but he's still on there. And they know he's on there. They support him because he's pro-Russian. Russia has a lot of right-wing people that love Russia. But they also have far-left people who like them. Tankies. Because they know that they're communists still. And they like the right-wing people because they like to put that false persona of them being nationalistic. Which is not the case. They literally imported 600,000 Pajits in their country. And now the Russians within the war zone of Ukraine and in Russia, they're having conspiracy theories saying that they're trying to interbreed Middle Easterners with the Russian women, which is probably true when you think about it. So you better do something, Russian man. You better stop your people from being outbred.
Just because of the people working here alone, I think that airsoft and firearms content is cooked. It probably won't reach a state where it gets outright banned like Leafy, but it's going to be severely punished more and more. And airsoft is not safe just because they aren't real guns. I think that unless airsoft and gun tubers get a lot of sponsors like Garand Thumb, there's pretty much no making a career out of it. And you can expect to be stuck at 0 view hell as a new gun or airsoft channel.
That's fucked up. This is what I used to get a lot, where I get 0 views on 1 view. I would get no views because I would never get recommended. Fuck this site. I swear to God. I swear to God, this is, you know how you make radicals? Like, you know how you make like somebody who just goes, says more controversial shit? Well, this shit. Leafy is here was very milquetoast. He was just a controversial person, but he was milquetoast. I don't like Leafy now, but his videos were very chill and down to earth. And fun fact, the reason why he got big too was because he did like many other YouTubers did. He viewbotted. You could do that very easy back then.
This is one of those answers to a question that there's going to be some pushback on, especially since now politics have been brought to the front. I knew it would come up somewhere, but I can't really agree about being stuck in zero view hell. There will always be a demand for airsoft and firearms content, and some of its creators, even if the quality of that content is terrible. That's just how content goes on this platform. And I know this is a question of opinion, but I thought I'd at least ask Mr. Black as a person who knows how airsoft and firearms content is treated in his workplace. Question 9. What are some of the most unfairly judged content topics in your opinion on YouTube? Commentary channels are subject to harsh judgment. Airsoft and firearms content alike also gets judged severely. Anything that is even remotely right-wing. I get political videos every day, and I'm sick of it, because none of these creators even say anything crazy, but they end up being reported. Anything right-wing or anything edgy, and not safe edgy, just gets judged extremely. Not to mention, this rating is completely independent of all other guidelines violations. So if a video is too mean, you can get judged for it. I know you've made jokes about Mexicans, and
Evaluating this video overall, to what extent would you describe that the content it's insensitive or intolerant? So this is like the shadow ban system. This is disgusting. This is fucking disgusting. Like, you know, the reason why people are more edgy is because of this shit. They could have easily had people just be mildly edgy still on the internet, where instead people are more edgy now than ever. Look at China. China, they censor everything, and those people are the most fucked up people. Children watch gore videos there in China. Like, it's very common to see like kids get into like animal torture in China. That's a fun fact.
technically you're not supposed to do that, even if you are Mexican. So basically, any edgy humor is a no-go, and anything even slightly right-wing is a no-go. Technically, if you upload a video reporting on Trump talking about his immigration policy, for example, that itself, even though you're just conducting journalism, would be a high-degree violation. Now, I didn't realize that I asked the same question twice during this extended interview, so here's just another half of that question. What other groups are in a similar predicament as the airsoft and firearms content creation community? Answer: commentary for sure. The commentary community gets targeted a lot. Any content that is slightly right-wing. Mainstream media gets put on my desk as they're spewing hate speech when they often are not.
Yeah, mainstream, even the people who get favored. By the way, mainstream media gets favored the most out of any other group outside of big YouTubers. Like, if you search up any controversial topic, they show up on top. And they sometimes only show that.
Martial arts content is another one. They are not given the same protection that sports content is given. Reenactment groups lack any protections either. As you can see here, I'm being asked to review a fitness video, and technically this violates the rules.
Fitness. Something that's supposed to help you get better when it comes to weight. And you wonder why there's people just taking steroids. People who just cheating in competitions. Because that's the thing. You can't do anything healthy when you have no one to talk to about it. You can't be healthy. Video summary. Description over the... Dear God.
Fitness content in general is actually more scrutinized than airsoft, because you're not supposed to even say that doing a workout can get you anything, because saying that something can lead to fat loss or muscle growth is a high degree violation for some reason.
You gotta love, you know, if you're a Democrat, if you're left-leaning, this is why Trump won again. You wanna know why? Because of that shit. Stop with this fucking identity politics bullshit and actually fix issues. If not, you're gonna have more people that are stupid running our country.
History content is also kind of rough because, one, people working here are very biased against it, and two, we don't have time to review videos in full. So even if the video has sources, we might not even have time to watch the whole thing and see that. I think people have this idea that anything that is traditionally masculine is going to be harmful and encourage people to be like violent against random people on the street. When I was taking some of the tests to get in, I was basically told that all these forms of content are technically harmful, and I wish I took screenshots. They have this very ridiculous idea that the people that like any of these sorts of things are going to lash out violently against the world if they see these videos. This answer really got me curious.
No. In reality, it's making it worse. You're giving people don't have any time to breathe or let out steam. You're making pressure cookers. When you block that shit out, it's going to explode.
About how channels like Simple History or Alternate History Hub are really treated. Because I've heard both of those channels complain about YouTube demonetization and suppression before, and I think I even heard Mark Felton talk about this a couple times as well. I've seen Simple History post about how several of their videos have to be either altered or have to be re-uploaded onto a different site entirely due to the terms of service situations. And if you normally make videos about alternate history regarding communism, Nazi Germany, or some other slightly unfavorable things, I think you'd have some problems from time to time. By the way, I really love all three of these channels. I am curious about if fitness channels normally have as much trouble as Mr. Black is alluding to. I don't have any fitness YouTuber friends at all. But if they really do have these problems, and they're hearing this answer, I'm sure that someone out there is pissed. Okay, next up is a really big question that several other YouTubers have asked me to ask Mr. Black. Number 10. How much does political bias really affect what is and what isn't suppressed or approved for full monetization? Does it come down to the specific reviewer and their biases, or the management of Google/YouTube? Now, either way this is answered, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments completely disagreeing with how Mr. Black answers this, but here we go. We are told what we are supposed to do, as I've shown above, and I think there is a clear bias in management that also aligns with most of the staff who don't really question it. I think we get a lot of personal freedom because they know that most of the staff is kind of on board with a lot of leftist ideology. And even if we aren't, there's a lot of clear wording and leanings to try to push you into making your answers that way.
But the funny thing is, in reality, it can help right-wing people because you basically giving them a reason to say, yes, we are the good guys. We are the underdog. These leftists have made the right-wing people win, where centrists or moderate left people are stuck in the dirt.
They do want us to be biased a certain way politically. Not to mention, I get literally no left-wing videos to review. I can point to countless times YouTubers like Ethan Klein and Hassan Piker say things that do violate guidelines, but not a single one of those YouTubers ever turned up for me to review. Then as a follow-up, I later asked, while teasing this interview, a few people were concerned about your political views and that they don't see you as a reliable source anymore due to them. Do you think that any of your more liberal coworkers would ever care to answer some questions that I've asked you thus far? And why should people trust what you have to say? Answer. Honestly, I'm worried that my coworkers will get me fired if I come forward with this myself, which is why I haven't already. I'm sure it definitely would be a nail in the coffin for this, but like I've said, I can't risk them going to management and telling them that I've been talking about this. I get that people will see that I'm biased, and I can admit that I have a certain degree of bias. But it's because of that I'm actually coming forward about this. It's why I'm willing to make this huge risk and explain what happens behind the scenes, which is a huge risk towards my income, as this is my only source of income. I'm already risking enough by showing you videos that I've reviewed, since they may be able to trace that back to me, since they do keep record of that. And I don't want to just completely shoot myself in the foot here. I would also say that my political views are more nuanced than simply Republican or conservative or anything like that, but it's kind of irrelevant. It's more important that these airsoft and gun YouTubers understand what's actually going on, so that their channels can have a future. There is a problem that is happening behind the scenes, and people who are anti-gun aren't going to see that as a problem, or say anything about it. I will openly say that I am both pro-gun and pro-airsoft, but many people in my space are openly against it. They see it as like some revolutionaries training to overthrow the government, or are apathetic and don't care. They're not going to say anything. They're just going to pick whatever degree they feel your video violates the guidelines and let you suffer the consequences. Ultimately, I intend to continue gathering more screenshots because I do believe in providing actual evidence. I understand that some people may not trust me simply because of what I believe in, but I'd say really just look at the screenshots I've provided. It would be much easier to simply claim that I am lying, but I can easily take screenshots as well as video of me working if necessary. I'm doing what I can from the inside, but if you're a YouTuber making gun or firearm content, these are things that you should definitely know and at least take into consideration. I would say that he definitely has a point here. I try to be as indifferent and stay away from politics.
If this guy ever gets fired, he should lay out everything he knows and don't try to sugarcoat anything. Just admit everything. And not just with gun content or airsoft. I mean everything. He's been light with US Airsoft. He's been very light with his creator. By the way, the way I found this video a long time ago was by me actually having to go onto a third party, not on YouTube itself, but on like Google or Bing. I think it was Bing originally. To find this video, I had to look up YouTube shadow ban. I had to go like 3 to 4 pages just to find this video. I tried on YouTube and I'd scroll for about 30 or 40 minutes and I could never find this video. This video is outright suppressed. It is suppressed to all hell.
Politics as I can in an industry like this, but honestly, I would think that you're really stupid if you're trying to ignore all the evidence, the answers, and everything else that's been said here because of how you lean politically. I, for one, don't think that all left-leaning Americans are anti-gun. The world isn't Twitter. We tend to see the absolute worst political weirdos from both sides of the internet, and we think everyone is like that, and I've always hated that about social media or big name news sources who try to make every person in the LGBT community into some kind of radical Looney Tune that wants to abuse kids, or how all kids nowadays in universities are pro-communism. Just like how I hate seeing someone trying to shame all Republican voters of hating all women, or a million other bogus newsline stuff. I've always hated this. I hate the my team tribalism bullshit.
Well, I mean, the way you could stop this is letting both sides speak. And I don't care who you are. You could be a left-wing person, a right-wing person. I don't care. I think if you let this stuff just be open and not worry about it getting suppressed, you can actually decrease it because it lets people speak and it may actually de-radicalize people. But these people who deal with this kind of politics bullshit doesn't care about that. They don't care. They have a bias, and their bias is because they're tankies. Tankies ruin everything on the internet. Tankies are fucking scum.
Always disliked it. And I have friends every election year act like jerks to me because I don't outright come forward with who I'm going to vote for. But my point is, we should give Mr. Black some credence as he submitted screenshots after screenshot to back up his claims.
Yeah, but people who make fucking thumbnails you don't like, and it's just fucking stupid. This shouldn't be a thing. When you actually make yourself healthy, you should not be punished. You're making yourself healthy. Fucking scum.
And if you still don't want to believe him because he said something that hurts your political feelings, then I don't know what to say. He's one of the very few people that were willing to offer his services with proof when everyone else just gave me a copy and paste nothing burger of an answer. Next, the last chunk of questions are on your screen right now. I'm trying to tidy this up as the amount of information I've gathered is staggering to say the least. I can imagine that a lot of people are simply listening to this video. But let's get into the first of the last two segments of questions, starting off with 5 that should cover the rest of shadow banning and suppression questions before we cover 5 questions that don't really fall into any real category. Again, take a look at the very end of this video for a few questions that I didn't think were the most important but still enlightening from my 3 anonymous sources. Alright, so let's start with this. Number 12. How does shadow banning really work? Can you only suppress a singular video or an entire channel by the selection of a single option? How complex is it? It depends on how the task is given to me. Sometimes I'm asked to only review a single video, and sometimes I'm asked to review the entire channel, as well as the offending video. That's a good indication that the entire channel is up to be shadow banned. Question number 13.
That's disgusting. Instead of just outright banning, they want to gaslight you and say that because they don't want to tell you you're not eligible to be getting views. You know, there are people out there who purposely shadow ban their channel so they can show very messed up videos. That's how some gore videos get around YouTube. Because if it's being shown around people, you know, send a link. But guess what? It's not going to have anybody that will openly report it. So it's an open secret. It's on YouTube publicly, but it's not going to be shown in person, you know, like in your recommended. This shit should be fucking... Ooh, I hate it. I despise it.
A lot of people don't believe in such a thing as a shadow ban on YouTube. What would you say to this? Shadow bans can definitely be issued out. I would say one surefire way to know is to get a different device with a different IP address on an account that you've never used or is connected to any other YouTube account and search for your own content using the exact title. If you don't show up, which I have seen happen to a few channels, then you're definitely shadow banned. It can also be more mild, as again, we rate violations based on severity, and punishments definitely scale to the severity of the violation.
He admits it. He admits everything. An actual employee admits all this shit. It's infuriating. And all these YouTubers openly gaslight you, should be ashamed of themselves, but they don't care.
YouTube gives you a way to check how many people are watching from YouTube recommendations. If you get some egregiously low numbers as compared to direct search and external links, then you were probably hit with a low degree violation as
Okay. YouTube gives you a way to check how many people are watching from your YouTube recommendations. If you get some egregiously low numbers as compared to direct search and external links, then you are probably hit with a low degree of violation compared to a medium degree one. I get this all the fucking time with my videos. My videos are my recommended. It's never recommended. The only people who watch me are watching me from external links or someone who's subscribed to me where they have to show up. You know, and that's rare at a time. So I'm hit with it.
compared to a medium degree one. Number 14. What can a content reviewer do to suppress a piece of content? i.e., not allowing it to be pushed to subscribers, unsearchable, not allowed to appear on the home screen, or in recommendations. The way it works is that by giving it a bad rating, the content is set up to be punished. For people in my position, it works in degrees and the punishment is assigned based on the degree. But for people in some of the better, higher paying positions, they have much more freedom on what actually happens, but they are scrutinized more for their work than someone in my position. Generally, all the things mentioned are given if you get either a low or medium degree violation. We can also list specific violations in comments to say what is specifically wrong with it. And here's where you see stuff like nonsensical timestamps, to say that there is a violation at a certain part of a video, even though there isn't one, because this comment system is looked at but not checked by higher-ups, who would often see that and think that the reviewer actually looked at the video, when they may have just put something there to make it seem like they actually watched the video.
And that should be them being fired at the spot. Be like, you're lying. You're clearly not doing your job, and you're having a bias. Since YouTube is based in America, they should not be dealing with this kind of situation. You outright suppressing someone's First Amendment right. Oh, private company. Well, you know what? YouTube is based in the United States.
I'm leaning more and more into the idea that the lack of verification really runs deep when it comes to content reviewers. A lot of the problems here seem to be in line with what people expressed would happen when YouTube was advertising the community reviewer program forever ago. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember a story of a Twitch streamer who was allowed to review content, but ultimately just got a lot of channels into trouble just because she didn't like them. I look for this.
He. It's a he and you know it. Who the fuck cares? It's a fucking he. It's a fucking creepy dude in a dress.
Story if I can and put it on screen, but that was a blatant in-your-face example of someone doing what I kind of think is happening to a degree in Mr. Black's office.
Oh yeah, that's happening in mass, and it's gotten worse over the past 8 months.
Question 15. Many people reported that the first exposed video of Dogpack404 against Mr. Beast couldn't be found by looking it up in the search bar despite the massive amount of views it was getting. And since then, I've heard more and more creators say that this happens for their content as well. Is that something that can be done by a reviewer, or is that something only saved for seriously offensive or distasteful content? Answer. If we get a video and rate it negatively, then it's likely for stuff like that to happen. I personally don't know if that's why that specific incident happened, or if that had anything to do with us. Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI are all really in with YouTube, and it's possible that they could have pushed for that to be done themselves, but it could have been someone from within Tellus. I just can't say for certain though, because obviously it wouldn't be me or anyone I know doing that. Since I asked Mr. Black this question, Joe Rogan's podcast episode with Donald Trump has come and gone, and as someone who tried to find that video myself, I personally had to go to the JRE channel and find it like a lot of other people said they had to do. It even got to the point that Joe Rogan himself was confused as to why a video that was pulling in 1 to 2 million views an hour couldn't be found naturally by looking it up in the search bar. Even the House of Judiciary community looked into the situation. You can find it now by using the search bar, but I wonder how long would it have stayed hidden if so many people weren't reporting on it? And if it was genuinely a real mess up by YouTube.
They need to understand, like, these left-wing YouTubers who work at Tellus or YouTube in general, they need to understand this. If you keep doing this, you're going to have more right-wing people win. That's a fact. Even people that I don't like, even people I knew they were going to fuck up. Look at Trump. He's fucked up our economy. And yet you want to do this shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? You're making it worse. You fucking tankies are making it worse. You far left fucking idiots are making it worse. Maybe don't do this.
Or if it was calculated. Next up is a question I really wanted to get answered. Is there a point where suppressing doesn't work anymore? Can massive multi-million subscriber channels like Grand Thumb, Brandon Herrera, and such be suppressed as well? Or can their audiences break that system? If you are large enough where you're going to have fans regardless of the algorithm, and you get reposted to places outside of YouTube, then yes, it won't work. If you also copy...
And this is how some people who are very controversial get past that. This is why sometimes you get, like, on shorts, Nick Fuentes clips. Just people posting his slop.
Andrew Tate's strategy, where he gets tons of channels to post his content, then that bypasses it. But mainly, you may still see a dip in views, but
Yeah, Andrew Tate, the person that had someone who was a fan of his who run over 2 fucking girls. Yeah, YouTube is really helping with people to stop streamers' content. No, you made it worse. You made it where they seem like they're the winners and underdogs. Instead of just saying, who the fuck cares, as long as they're not posting gore or something that actually makes sense. You make it worse.
Channels that have large enough core audiences become less reliant on the algorithm and algorithmic suppression. However, you will still see a dip in views even if you are these big creators. That makes a lot of sense to me, especially at some point whenever you become so big and you have an audience of millions of subscribers. Even if only 200,000 of those people come to your video, they basically brute force it into the algorithm. Or at least if I'm understanding this correctly. And if you can convince your audience that there is something that is working against you, then the real fans will be more willing to make big noise about anything you upload. Mr. Black then goes on to say, I guess the best way to explain it is that it will disproportionately affect smaller creators. Bigger creators will be affected, but they can basically weather the storm, whereas this could be career-ending for smaller creators if they get hit with suppression too much.
See? This is why you don't see new channels anymore. This is why it's hard to find new people. This is why everyone's posting the same shit. You know, I keep finding like videos like, video documentaries about a game that I swear it's almost the same video I seen like 4 or 5 years ago. Because either they're taking the script and just changing it up for their own terms, or some of these newer ones are just outright AI. They're AI videos trying to manipulate the system.
Creators like Grand Thumb and Brandon Herrera do end up as creators for me to review, and I do think that they would be bigger if their videos weren't being sent here. But they do extremely well for themselves regardless, albeit they could be doing much, much better. Look at Leafy in 2016, and then his views in 2017 to 2020, just for proof of this. For any of the commentary channels that are watching this, I'm sure there's a lot of opinions to be made about Leafy, but I'll let that argument be somewhere else. But what we're told here is that unless your audience is somewhere in the millions, where you can circumvent the losses from...
Leafy should have never been banned, in my opinion. He became a Nick Fuentes bootlicker, but at the same time, I don't think he should be banned. I think that's dumb. I think that's fucking stupid. Banning someone for opinions is fucking dumb. You make it where you get more streamers content to grow. This is what these leftists don't understand. You are making it worse for yourself. You're making it where streamers actually get more people on their side. These people don't understand that. Why do you think back in the 2000s, people wasn't as... How put it? People back in the 2000s was more edgy, but people wasn't more extremist back then. I see more extreme shit going on political sides than I have ever. It's because the internet is more censorious. You see these young Republicans openly talking about Hitler and all that. And back 20 years ago, they would have been made fun of. They would have been called jokes. But because they're seen as suppressed, they can get away with it.
Suppression, then you're going to have a much harder time growing in communities like ours. Grand Thumb, I know, posts a lot about the troubles that he's had on YouTube, so I'm curious as to what he might think about his numbers if he was allowed to grow naturally. I also wonder if our largest creators in Airsoft would agree to what I've been told here. I don't want to possibly publicly shame or embarrass any of my fellow creators in the Airsoft community, But I've been really nosy the past year and have noticed so many of our largest creators on a downward path. Where certain creators would almost always break 1 million views no matter what they uploaded, they're now getting around 200 to 400,000 views. Still really good, but nowhere near what they used to pull in. You'll still have 1 or 2 videos pop off and go viral no matter what, and that's where I believe some of this viewer suppression gets broken. I've had talks with one of the most successful airsoft creators in the United States, who is one of those creators that would normally pull in millions of views on anything they upload. And now he's considering to walk away as things have been trending downward. Yeah, this type of video was bound to get gloomy at some point. With that chunk done, we move on to the very last 5 questions, starting with number 17. Do you know how well paintball content is treated? I already know from several sources that paintball content is not touched at all, seemingly because it obviously isn't real. Mr.
Yeah, paintball guns are so, they don't look realistic. So they don't get touched. It's kid shit.
Black said, it's not even a topic of discussion, and not a single paintball video has ever ended up on my desk. I don't think anyone cares because it's more socially accepted. Question 18. How are video game trailers and movies treated differently despite them showcasing simulated violence and firearms? We actually are explicitly told not to do anything to gaming or movie content. It's heavily protected, and we're told to overlook absolutely anything, including gore from gaming videos and movies. Music videos and rap videos are also protected. A lot of these bigger industries have a huge sway over how YouTube runs itself, and we're told to give exceptions for these things.
And it's kind of funny, the gaming industry is also run by tankies as well.
A lot of this seems kinda really negative, but I do think that if the airsoft industry, for example, were to be bigger, then there is a real possibility that they could also make demands like the music industry and gaming and movie industry does. I mean, when I was training, I was quite literally told that videos that are critical on the CCP are bad because those videos are somehow misleading and negative to all Chinese people.
See, as I said, I told people this. All of YouTube is run by tankies. Because the CCP is 100% communist. They don't want to admit that.
And there's a whole debate there, but the reality is that YouTube wants to get into the Chinese market, and they think that by kneeling to the CCP, that they'll do that.
That's idiotic. Why would you kneel to the CCP? A group of people who don't even have YouTube. If they had YouTube in their country, they'd be arrested. CSAM is less controversial than using Western media there.
And YouTube tends to do that a lot, where they straight up allow things like nudity as well. There are videos on here that are blatant rule violations like straight up nudity in rap videos, but because of how much money is in the music industry, they get protected status. There's really no other way to put this, but
cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Also, on a funny note, for some reason, the weird breastfeeding videos are openly listed to be protected content. I see some YouTubers making videos about how weird and fetishalized it is, but YouTube is aware of it, and they don't care, and actively tell us to not do anything about it. Question 19. Can content that is approved for
And some of those is just outright pedo shit.
full monetization still be suppressed? Does full monetization really mean your content won't be held back unnaturally? Yes, any and all videos can be suppressed. Pretty much anything can end up on my desk, even from YouTubers who don't even bring up their monetization status. We aren't told anything about the monetization status of the video, at least in my position. And videos that may have been approved and monetized for years even can end up flagged and given to us to review. Question 20. People have said that I should just include warnings at the beginning of my videos to assure YouTube and Google employees that my content is about airsoft and not real firearms. Would that matter at all? And why or why not? It doesn't matter.
See, if YouTube did something like just give warnings of what this video is about instead of just suppressing it, and make it where you can go in your settings to where turn off all inappropriate, like potential inappropriate shit. So like an opposite of restricted mode, because even if you have restricted mode on, you still don't get shit in your algorithm. You should be able to turn that shit off and just get raw YouTube.
Warnings really don't make a difference, and even simulated aggression is considered bad. If they see people with guns shooting at each other, and even if it's staged, it's a violation. I'm sorry to all the airsoft creators that think that putting warnings at the beginning of their videos makes a difference. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. In fact, you might actually be just making things easier for the content reviewer to screw you over.
Yep. Class action lawsuit can fix this.
I honestly knew that really didn't matter. I just wanted someone else to say it for you all. Then finally, my last question to wrap this all up. Number 21. I've noticed several times newer channels suddenly doing well with views, and the algorithm sharing newer channels through recommendations, but then suddenly they seem to plateau in views or even begin to hemorrhage. Is that just normal algorithm drop-off, or does that more than likely have to do with suppression from content reviewers?
He's gonna say something different, but I have another opinion.
It most likely has to do with suppression from us.
Yes. Because what happens is, because when I first made this channel, I was doing okay. I was doing okay like I did with my older channels. Same normal shit. But then I started to get barely any views. Even with shorts, I was only getting 0 views. And with shorts, if you get like shadow ban on shorts, you're shadow banned completely. Then they lifted my shadow ban off of shorts, where I could just post shorts all day. But the problem is, you can only go so far with shorts if it comes to 3 to 4 minute videos. And normal content, I don't get views.
We get a lot of smaller channels from all forms of YouTube. Not to mention everyone is under increased scrutiny due to the election, which I know as I'm writing this, it's election day. But of course, I'm being flooded with even more political stuff than usual. It's very likely that when a smaller channel starts to pick up, someone flags them for the littlest of reasons and they end up here. Because a lot of the smaller channels in all regards, not even just Airsoft, end up here. And sometimes for nonsensical reasons, like being reported for overly sexual content or harmful or misleading content in the context of news.
Yeah, I got that before. Bullshit.
Also, a huge factor in our review of channels is reputation. If a channel doesn't have a large reputation, we have to report that. And
Yeah, you get punished if you don't grow fast enough, by the way. You get punished if you don't grow fast enough. If you don't pander to YouTube hard enough to where you grow fast enough, you will be suppressed in the algorithm. That proves that there's a mild shadow banning on YouTube. That's why you see YouTubers like these content farm and AI slop channels. They'll post like 10 to 15 videos. And if it doesn't grow by the next month or two, they abandon the channel because they realize the channel is not deemed to be growing. Because it's YouTube that makes you grow, not you as a creator. You can post any slop you want. It's YouTube's algorithm that pushes you. And if you're not pushing the algorithm, there's no point in doing it if you will make money.
And unfortunately, that's treated negatively. If I get a small channel that isn't doing anything wrong, I get that little reputation warning. And I have found the best solution is to just say that the reputation is positive, even if I'm supposed to say it's too small for them to have a reputation, because it's a huge factor when it comes to how your channel is reviewed. The factor of reputation is very weird to me. It feels like a whole new layer to so many of the issues people have had with YouTube over the years, and I'm curious as to if reputation was always a factor or when it started to be. I've also noticed a lot of channels in the airsoft scene get big out of nowhere, make a viral video or two that goes all over our community tabs, then suddenly they fall off. Was it a
Fall off. The only people who say it's YouTube, they didn't fall off. It's just YouTube shadow banned them automatically.
fluke? It absolutely could have been. That sort of thing just happens naturally a lot of times and you can't write that off. But even as I asked that last question, a lot more questions are probably popping up in a lot of people's heads right now. At the moment, the airsoft industry isn't doing the best from all the accounts I took in recently from numerous manufacturer representatives. Partly to blame because of inflation, and partly to blame to all the recent censorship and social media bans. For those who don't know, Instagram blatantly tells us that our content will not be shown to non-followers, can't be looked up in search bars, or recommended to anybody new. For the most part, most airsoft content creators, distributors, anything to do with airsoft, you can't find us on Instagram unless you type in every single letter in our name. Even the airsoft hashtag doesn't work despite it being used over 7.7 million times. I made a whole video about that.
But at least they tell you. They tell you. They're transparent. That's one upside with these other websites. They tell you that they don't want it on there. And they would tell other people they don't want it on there. At least they're being transparent. YouTube is not transparent.
Simply put, because of all the suppression from Instagram, the Facebook bans, and all the suppression on YouTube, especially amongst all the content creators, the relevance of airsoft has gone down quite a lot. Airsoft thrives on social media. But then when people can't even find it, people don't even know that the game exists, people don't know about new products, people don't know about advancements, and so on and so forth. So even if you think I'm complaining about nothing and shadow banning isn't real and that the only reason why so many content creators are missing out on so many of the views they used to make is all because of some other reasoning or just because our content is terrible, then you would also have to answer to several airsoft manufacturers and tell them that they're completely wrong as well.
Yeah, these airsoft companies are openly saying, yeah, we're losing money because of this. These companies are losing money, millions, because they can't show off their product. What are they going to show it to? People won't know if they have a product. Airsoft companies should be having a bitch fit about this. It should be soon as well.
Well, what are you doing? To say that there is now a lot to think about would be an understatement. This may be one of the most gloomy and negative videos I've ever made, so I'm happy that we're just about done. And to make it absolutely clear, I am not calling for any kind of advertiser boycott or to get a bunch of YouTubers off of the platform as some...
Actually, that could do it. Like, I'm talking about just show all the fucked up videos to companies who have advertisement, like Coca-Cola. Say, hey, I saw your advertisement with a video of a monkey getting choked to death. Here's an advertisement of a woman masturbating. A Coca-Cola ad. I want Coca-Cola. It's something weird.
kind of protest. I don't want any of that. I'd rather my channel get banned and thrown away than somehow screw over anyone else. But we need to think about what we can.
He should have doubled down on this shit. He still gets people to this fucking day talking about it too. This is on news. Yeah, even I talked about it. People don't know about this shit. Look at this from 3 months ago. There's like a few comments up. Look at that shit. It's not even showing on fucking YouTube.
Or if we can even do something, because I can't remember if YouTube has ever pulled back from hammering down on firearms related content. Ever. This is going to get some people talking, and I realize I'll probably be called out by some people, including some creators, for something that I've said here, and I heavily advise someone make their own video reacting to this if they feel the need to. If anyone makes a reaction video to this, I will watch it. I want to hear discussion. I want to see brainstorming, even if it's from people that can't stand me, as long as it betters.
But my recommendation is YouTube at least be transparent. If you're not transparent, this site will die. Plain and simple. This site will die and people will just go to other platforms. We're starting to see a generational gap of people not using this site anymore. Because even if you make more money, most of the time you won't grow. And many new YouTubers are just AstroTurf, where there's just fake creators who pretend they're new creators. The organic YouTuber, it's going away. To where the only people you see organic is from other websites now. This concept of you gotta be squeaky clean, no roughness around the edges, is killing the website.
Are sports and hobbies. This is not something that's covered in the airsoft content sphere a lot, and outside of it, it's easy to say that airsoft channels are falling off because everyone sucks at content creation or whatever reason. The fact of the matter is that airsoft is a highly unpopular niche hobby that advertisers do not like, and
no, it's not really advertisers don't like, it's that the people working in it don't like it. The advertisers don't care. They let people show nudity with their ads. Remember, the BBC did a documentary about how people were torturing baby monkeys on YouTube. It started out on YouTube. Those videos of people torturing baby monkeys started on fucking YouTube. Originally, the members tab was being abused by predators and people who torture baby monkeys to sell the content. You know, outright snuff videos for animals. It started out on there, and then when people started to notice, they went on Telegram, they went on other websites, they went on Twitter, they went on Facebook. I think they're still on Facebook because Facebook doesn't do shit, and it's all dead internet theory on that shit. Well, Pajeets.
it is very easy to associate with any negative aspect of firearms. I've had my fair share of discussions with very annoyed marketing managers of companies that sponsor other extreme sports and combat sports, but want nothing to do with airsoft. Because imagine the backlash a company like Red Bull would get nowadays if they openly supported an airsoft team or any individual firearms YouTuber. No, they're not going to risk that. Or if, God forbid, some monster committed a horrific shooting somewhere and the media picked up that the suspect was an avid airsofter who binge-watched a lot of the content from your favorite creators. I've seen how that kind of stuff pops up in the news, and it's never good. And that's something that's always going to be consistent until we change how the majority of people perceive airsoft and how we accept negative actions that happen with airsoft. I will continue to keep my eye on the numbers. I'll test more and more stuff behind the scenes and talk to a multitude of creators of all sorts of genres. And I'll even go back to VidCon this year and try to speak with more employees if they're willing to give me the time. Again, I'd love the opportunity to get a look on the inside if anyone has the power.
I'm not sure when it starts out, if it's already passed, but I guarantee he probably posted this, and then all those big YouTubers said, stay the fuck away from me, I'm not going to lose my advertisement. I guarantee that. I guarantee people it's more. It's like, oh, there's that guy. They'd be telling people in the background, like the big YouTubers, that, like their representatives say, don't get near him. He made a video about criticizing YouTube. That's probably what happened to him. Because I never hear anything about this video. He has personally talked to Miyamu Ohara, all these fucking big YouTubers. And yet there's no talk about this. None. I never found a video talking about this video. Even on fucking Reddit. There was actually a Reddit tab talking about it. And it barely got anybody talking about it. I think it even got deleted. So it tells you how fucking much Google wants to suppress this shit.
To set something up with even more serious YouTube managers or employees. And I will be 100% honest with you, during the production of this video, I had a few firearms channels that completely unfollowed me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not sure if it's related to this video, but if they still want to talk to me over what I've learned in the process of making this, I would absolutely like to talk with them. So they can message me on Instagram or Twitter, or if they want to, they can email me. But I would like to thank the dozens of people that have helped me gather information for this very long video. And I would like to thank, of course, my anonymous guests who answered all of my questions to the best of their knowledge. I hope that airsoft and firearms content and a whole bunch of other genres keep on growing even whenever I decide to pull back from full-time content creation, which might be happening sooner than later.
Yeah, he hasn't posted a video in 3 months. I think he realized that he can't do shit. And even him basically kind of being the whistleblower for the whistleblowers, he's not getting anywhere near that he should be getting come to these views because he's being suppressed.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening this year on 2025, but that's for a later discussion. But until that next video drops from the city of San Antonio, Texas, this has been Scott Hollenbeck, and I will be sure to see you all next time.
And you know what? I would die on a hill if this happened to any other creator as well too. And y'all know that. I would die on a hill if this happened to any other creator, regardless of how I feel, because this isn't okay. All right. There's a million people on this platform that try to stop bullshit like this, and they get screwed.
Yeah, sure thing, Miyamu Ohara. Yeah, you really stopped that. No, you fucking didn't. Fucking whitelist YouTube motherfucker.
This whole thing is a joke, man.
After testing, I can determine that there is an AI that can detect the shape of firearms or anything firearm shaped like most airsoft replicas. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't know anything about this, but it doesn't surprise me.
If there ever was to be an airsoft creator that YouTube would support or make a part of the preferred creator program, what would the channel?
Preferred creator program. The opposite of suppressed creator program, by the way. Preferred. Fucking bullshit.
Look like, or is that not something you see YouTube ever supporting to that extent?
I would say probably a bit more of the family-friendly side, not showing off things like or overly cursing. More information will be most likely they would be on platform. Educating people about airsoft maybe.
What would you say to this opinion? It really feels like YouTube doesn't want firearm or airsoft content on their site. I think that with baby steps, YouTube can discourage enough of these creators to the point that either the low view count or low ad revenue will force them to quit.
I would say that they don't mind the actual content itself. We've seen big gun creators on the platform. After all, it's more of the content that's made. YouTube themselves are very supportive of the creator community, and there's very few communities that they would intentionally not want on their platform.
Many airsoft creators avoid using the word gun, rifle, or other similar words to avoid any possible monetization or suppression issues. How does YouTube feel about those terms, and should creators avoid using them?
I think this just falls under what advertisers like. When you upload a video and you want to monetize it, You need to check some boxes about what the video contains. There's an option for gun stuff, and one of the sub-options is replica firearms. I think if you check that box, you get ads placed on your videos from advertisers who are okay with this type of content.
Yeah, so you can show like videos of monkeys getting tortured to death, beaten, having drills put in their eyeballs, and you just have Coca-Cola on that little ad bar.
I think it's just to protect YT from like Coca-Cola being upset because one of their ads rolled before a GunTuber's video. It's annoying, but ultimately the decision of the brand. And YT just uses the monetization tool checklist to sort these videos. I think where you run into issues is when you don't fill out that checklist correctly and you have guns in your thumbnail and title. And then YT sees that and demonetizes it because the video was not sorted correctly.
Would you say things will get better for airsoft and firearm content, or do you see things getting worse in the near future?
I think there's still a mass demand for firearm content. More people are buying guns now than ever before. There's an audience for this stuff. I think airsoft content creators just need to do more than go out to a field for a day and record a few games. Cut together the highlights and call it a video. The channels that are doing more are doing well. The quality bar for content creators was raised for every other niche on YT. Airsoft content just hasn't caught up yet. YT is a competition. The longer someone watches your video, the more likely YT is to serve that video. When airsoft content creators are pulling 4 to 5 minutes of average watch time,
I really don't trust Mr. Red. I trust Mr. Black. Mr. Red is just someone who promotes YouTube
on a video, and everyone else is doing 8 to 15 minutes. YT is going to pick the 8 to 15 average view duration video every time. The moment an airsoft creator can get their video up to that point, YT is going to blast that video to everyone who has a history of watching airsoft content, and maybe more.
Does the notification bell matter? Can those notifications be tampered with, throttled, muted? This question relates to many people claiming they haven't seen any of my or other airsoft/firearms related videos appear in their notifications for months on end.
Yeah, that's part of the shadow banning process. If you are deemed harmful, they do not want your videos spreading at all and will severely limit how many notifications go through in order to make sure that people do not see the video.
I get this all the time. Like I have like a one of my accounts, my alts, separate VPN, all that. It doesn't tell me when my video gets notified. Like your notifications are supposed to show you what you get recommended. It doesn't. So that means the average creator is some form of shadow ban, because I don't get none of them.
I've been under the assumption that YouTube only unsubscribes users from channels they haven't interacted with for long periods of time, but I've been subscribed to channels outside of anything airsoft and firearms that I haven't watched for well over 8 years. Does YouTube have the ability to unsubscribe users from channels without their knowledge or input?
If they determine that a channel is bad enough, they really can do whatever they want to the channel. They technically have the right to do so as a private company, as much as I dislike the excuse.
This private company nonsense is fucking stupid because they're technically a monopoly. And I think if you use this within, because the company is based in the United States, should not be allowed to do this because of free speech. This is affecting free speech. Okay. So that was the video. This guy told a lot of stuff, a very black pill in detail about how YouTube works. Now, let me look at this one. This video is, let me show you his channel first. This guy makes, I think, political videos talking about, politics. That's perfectly fine. That should be fine. He used to get hundreds of views per video. Had no issues. But all of a sudden, he was getting far less views. All of a sudden. You get thousands of views, 500 views, a few hundred. That's okay. That's not meaning you're shadow banned. He would get less and less views over time. To where now he only gets not even 100 views. And he knows it. I know it. Just complete video suppression. So he talks about it. Take it away.
Hey, so yeah, I got shadow banned on YouTube. And how I know that is, my videos went from maybe 1,000 views per video to like 5 views per video. And I'm like, literally overnight. and you're like, okay, either I'm shadow banned or I got like really, really bad at making videos really, really quick. So anyway, once
You can't just fall off all of a sudden. It's over time. You know how, if anyone does videos on any other platform, you know how it goes. You slowly lose views over time. But with him, he just went 10 times overnight. That's insane. And the gas line people use for this guy.
figured out I was shadow banned, I went on YouTube like a lot of people do and started watching videos to figure out how I got shadow banned and how I can fix this, how I get unshadow banned. And
he tried to do like I did a long time ago. Look up YouTubers, see what their theory is to kind of stop that. Because there probably is a method to where it decreases it or outright stops it. But there's no consistency. And many of them are Indians who want to scam you. Which, by the way, if YouTube did like TikTok where they outright banned people from India from watching TikTok, I guarantee most of these AI slop channels will go away because most of them are run by Indians. Fucking cheats.
I watched like well over 100 videos, I can promise you, trying to figure out exactly what happened and how I can get my channel back to where it was. And I'm going to share some of the videos with you that I watched and what I learned. Now, at the very end of this video, I am going to tell you what I learned about why I got shadow banned, and also how I'm trying to fix that. But now let me play you the first video, and this is a real common theme that you're going to find when you're looking for how to fix your ban status on YouTube, and this is what I call the liars.
Did you know that seeing a sudden decrease in the amount of views that you're getting on YouTube Shorts right now, or just on YouTube in general, could be a sign that you're actually shadow banned on YouTube?
Well, the things are trying to sell you a product. They don't care about actually smaller people. They don't care. It's all of a sale. Because they actively suppress the word shadow ban. They'll give out fakers, liars, actual YouTubers who work within YouTube who would gaslight you to say you fell off. Disgusting shit.
Or maybe you didn't know that if your views take off, just a flatline could also be a sign that you're shadow banned. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly whether or not you're shadow banned on YouTube, and if you are, you're gonna know how to fix it. In fact, this creator just went from being shadow banned to implementing the fix that I'm gonna share with you in this video to gain over 50,000 subscribers in just a 30-day period. And this creator was able to do the same thing, except they went...
Yeah, to make a long story short, his solution on how to get unshadow banned is to buy his course on how to make a YouTube video.
And in my opinion, if I was YouTube, I would go after these people who try and sell you courses. I would say that goes against the community guidelines because that is outright manipulation. Third-party sources that tell you you can get your views up should not be a thing. I would make that say that's a bannable offense. Because it's not guaranteed. How you gonna make it guaranteed? Are you view botting? It's disgusting. Never listen to these course YouTubers. Ever. These people should be banned. You should false report them. Make them learn not to do this shit again.
He didn't give me any information whatsoever on how to actually fix my problem. But if I give him like $299, he can make my dreams come true. So you'll find a lot of videos like that that promise to help you learn how to fix your shadow ban, and ultimately they're just trying to sell you something. Now there's also the people that will tell you that you're not actually even shadow banned.
99% of people that think they're getting shadow banned, YouTube doesn't even know you exist actually. You're not getting shadow banned. You just need to improve your content.
Yeah.
See what I mean? These people who work in YouTube, they really like it when you say that, no, you just fell off and you suck. They want you to believe in the gaslight. They want you to be lied to in your face just to put you down. They want you gone. That's why. They don't like it when I speak. They like it when some person who talks about open pedophilia. You know, pedophiles actually get away with this. Pedophiles are on YouTube. They love the way the site. Why do you think there's like what's it, YouTube police? I forgot what we call it. It's like that weird UTTP thing. And they post Discord with open pedophile shit. and they don't get banned at all. Even big YouTubers talk about it because, as I said, because they're leftists. Some of these people are open pedophiles who work in YouTube. NAMBLA, former NAMBLA people.
I'm not actually shadow banned. I just lost 99% of my viewers overnight because I suck. Anyway, all right. So then I did find some videos that actually tried to give some help, some advice on how to become unshadow banned. So let me share some of those with you right now.
Fits. So
This guy, as I said, I talked about this guy before. Dangless Media. It's a Dangless Media. I don't know. This dude, he tried to prove that you can fit shadow banning. And he tried it on the channel that he just made. And not only couldn't he do it, that he almost had, he basically had a mental breakdown over the past few videos. And he did have videos where he was actually acting kind of crazy. He deleted them. Dangless Media is legitimately one of the most craziest person who tried to gaslight people into thinking shadow banning was a thing. He tried everything to say, no, shadow banning's not a real thing. Because he originally said it was, and then he said it wasn't. Because he knows that there's a little bit of an uptick. But then it went down. That's how it usually goes with newer YouTubers. You start to grow, but then when you're on the channel long enough, if they deem you not likable, they'll put you down to 0.
My plan here now, is this the last update? My plan here now is to take the old channel, I have it here, take all of the videos that I am proud of and that I want to move and delete it from this channel.
Look at that. You see that big not download, but just down spiral, just down. Everything.
And put it onto my new channel. Simply because.
Yeah, so his advice was to delete your channel, create a new channel, and then take all your videos from your deleted channel and transfer them to your new channel.
And by the way, if you do that too many times, YouTube will know the IP, and then they'll just outright suppress you in general. That's a fun fact, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So,
and it doesn't work. He tried that, and he had a mental breakdown. And he got so pissed off with me pointing this out that he blocked me from commenting on his videos. He didn't like what I had to say to him. He called me crazy. And even people, and I've even seen some people saying the same thing I was, and it got deleted. Even people calling him crazy, saying, you're the crazy one. He deletes the comments. Open scumbag piece of shit.
Let's listen to another YouTuber give us some better advice, hopefully, on what to do here.
So, just post your content, and even if you don't get views...
This is most likely, these types of videos, they tend to be from India, from Africa. They tend to be from the third world, because what YouTube does, and I think this is like a YouTube shill who's paid by a company that's being paid by YouTube, sort of like a sell company, to pretend to be an organic YouTuber. To pretend. I do believe they do like fake YouTubers. To give fake advice. Fake advice to make it to where it's like, oh, you fell off, you do this, you do that, or they waste your time. This is most likely a third world worker who's trying to gaslight people. I guarantee if you look up her information, she's working for Google.
Subscribers, just be patient. Time will come, you'll be getting views, okay? Now, if your channel is going under shadow ban, just leave it for 28 days and YouTube will remove the shadow ban from your channel. If you find this...
That's also been proven to not work, by the way. People have done that and then they still... Because it's funny, because it's the oxymoron. Because if you don't post for so long, then they believe that you have just stopped doing YouTube, and they just make it where you don't get your recommendations for the people that subscribe to you. So it punishes you even more. I have done that before. It doesn't do shit. it kind of makes it worse.
This video helpful.
So just be patient, and if that doesn't work, then just go away for a month and leave your YouTube channel alone. All right, let's see if we can find some better advice. There's got to be some better advice out there somewhere.
There could be a reason for that, and it's quite possible that your account might be shadow banned. Now, if you're familiar with shadow banned, here is a quick explanation. It is, YouTube kind of unofficially restricts your account.
Yeah, he's talking what people want to hear, but he's trying to talk it very slowly so he can get that 9-minute mark to make double the money.
And it gets hidden across YouTube, and it's not allowing. YouTube is not pushing out your videos for some reason. It could be due to a glitch, or it could be due to YouTube's algorithm. Sometimes.
All right, that dude may be my favorite. He's like, yeah, if you were shadow banned, it could be a glitch, or it could be the algorithm.
It's never the fault of YouTube. They never want to blame YouTube. You can't blame YouTube. I guarantee saying shadow ban is worse than saying the N-word on YouTube. Just is.
No shit, man. And just so you know, all these videos were titled "How to Fix Your Shadow Ban,"
which is misleading. Back on old YouTube, if you mislead too much, instead of just shadow banning, you get banned because that's considered mislabeling your content. They would just say, "Fuck it, we're banning you," or they give you a strike. Because that's false information.
I would get unshadow banned, so I thought that was hilarious that he has no idea. I titled that one "Clueless," but hey, he posted a video. He got 111 views in 5 months, so obviously he knows what he's talking about.
Yep. 5 months, 111 videos.
All right, now this next one I think you're gonna really like. This is a good one.
And you're wondering, could it be that YouTube has shadow banned my channel? Now let me tell you something. It's happening to a lot of YouTubers right now, including me. But I was able to find out exactly what was going on and how to fix it. And let me tell you, this could be the exact same reason why your videos are not even being seen by people. So basically, in today's video,
Over a decade ago, this woman would be a reply girl. Basically a cam, I don't want to say the word, but you know what I mean, W-H-O-R-E. Cam, W-H-O-R-E. That's what she be. Because she's useless.
I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what shadow banning simply means and how you can be able to fix it, just like the way I was able to fix mine. So without much being said, let's get straight into the video.
Okay, finally, someone is going to explain to us exactly how to fix our shadow ban. So,
not only confusing your viewers, you are also confusing the YouTube algorithm, which is even responsible for pushing out your videos. Yes, I know that the minute you post a video, for YouTube to keep pushing it and recommending it, your viewers behavior counts, which is your audience. So if your audience are not relating well with the video, there is no how the YouTube algorithm will be able to push out that video. So you have to try your best to niche down, pick out a particular niche and stick to it. There are some niche that you can be able to.
I have no fucking idea what she just said.
I just love the disbelief. This is some average creator where he's doing okay with subscribers originally, but then he stopped getting views, and people probably thinking he's not getting any recommendations. He thinks, oh, well, I'm just falling off. The open gaslighting, and he's just in disbelief, like I am. I'm in major disbelief how fucking bad it's getting. But all these fucking AI slop channels and these content farms are doing just fine. Just fine. But no, if you make anything that's controversial, you won't get any views. Fuck YouTube. God damn fucking YouTube.
I have no idea what she just said. All right. This is a video coming up here. Now, this one actually gives you a concrete solution for how to fix your shadow ban. So this is a good one.
Have you been the innocent victim of a shadow ban on YouTube? Did you know that this action is illegal in most jurisdictions? With our help using
I don't think it is, because there's no law against the because it's quote unquote private company, even though Google is technically a monopoly and have been, told they were been a monopoly and need to break up. No, I think if the company's based in America, they should make it where if you're based in a country where you have freedom of speech, you should be able to say you have to allow hate speech, quote unquote hate speech,
unban meme
and be transparent about why they're getting less views. If you're not transparent about it, if it's proven that you are suppressing people without their knowledge, they should be fined for it. Fined.
.com, you can generate a legal document and send it to Google's legal department within minutes. Most users get their shadow ban removed within hours.
Yeah, that's the solution. You just sue the fuck out of YouTube. You just sue them. You just write them a legal letter and say, hey, I'm going to sue you for shadow banning my YouTube channel. Yeah, no. All right, so I told you at the end of the video, which we're coming to, I was going to tell you what I actually did to get shadow banned and how I'm trying to fix that. So this is the video that actually, one of the many videos that talk about this, and this is what I did, and I'll tell you how I'm trying to fix it. So watch this.
Your short isn't performing. Should you just delete it, re-upload it, and try your luck again? I'm Renee Ritchie. I work at YouTube, and we got you.
No. No, don't. I would not advise that. I've heard people talk about this as like a growth hack. I think that there is a risk there that gets seen as spam in our systems. My advice to folks is, okay, if that didn't go how you wanted it to go, learn from it and move forward.
And that's what I did. When you delete several videos, like you upload some videos and you don't like the response, or you don't like the video, and so you start deleting videos, and then you do the cardinal sin, which is delete a video and then upload that same video again. The YouTube algorithm thinks you're a bot. They think you're a spam. They spot something fishy going on.
It's funny because there's more bots in the YouTube comment section than any other website ever. There are so many bots on fucking YouTube's comment section. I don't have a single bot problem on TikTok. I never had that problem. When I did, I know it's a bot, and I just make fun of it. On YouTube, you can't really make fun of anything.
And they shadow ban you. And apparently that's what happened to my channel. Was I deleted several videos, then I deleted one video, and then I re-uploaded it right away, and that got me shadow banned. So the solution, honestly, is you just have to contact YouTube. You contact YouTube off your studio, and you say, hey, it appears like I've been limited access or shadow banned.
You can't say that because then they hate you. Now you can keep commenting and spamming it and saying I'm being shadow banned, unshadow ban me, but they don't give a shit.
And I'm not sure what I did wrong, but can you help me get unshadow banned? I thank you very much. And then you wait for a YouTube response, and generally they'll hopefully unshadow ban you at that point. Now, if you're watching this video, then that means I probably got unshadow banned and it worked.
No, you didn't. As I did with the other videos. I had to look for it off a website. That's the way it is. It's sad but true. I even said it in the comments section. You gotta love YouTube. The death of possibly the greatest video hosting platform ever. You can say why and go on other ones because they're ass. Rumble is complete ass. BitChute, it's awful. Odyssey is awful. All these other ones are awful. They don't understand what makes a website good. I think even though I have issues with Medicare, it's correct. If you can't find a video like the average person saying how to tie a tie, how to, tie a bow tie, normal shit, you would never see anybody use it ever. The closest we got is TikTok, and TikTok, it's not like YouTube. They're trying to be, and maybe once they get their portrait mode set up and make it where they have a separate algorithm for long form content and give more money based off what you talk about, then I can say, yes, you get paid. Until then, no, it's not. And that's the state of YouTube. The state of fucking YouTube, the state of the internet. And it's causing people to become more radical. These left-wing people thought they were going to stop these fucking communists, but they made it worse. Good job.